Hello friends, welcome to Learn Positive with Pradeep Kumar. If you're watching my channel, like, share, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon. Strength of Materials, Unit 2, Chapter 1, Mechanical Properties of the Material, Part 1. If you want to see my previous videos, click the I button on the top of the video. It will show my playlist. You will see all the videos and subscribe to my channel. In the description below, I given the Facebook ID of my channel. Please follow us on the Facebook. Mechanical properties of material. So the mechanical property of a material are the properties which describe the behavior of the material under mechanical usages. The selection of material for a particular applications involves considering of factors like mechanical properties, service requirements, manufacturing requirements and cost of the material. The best material is one which serves the required objective at a minimum cost. So friends, think if we want to make a object, make a part like a automobile or a engine or some other else, we need to choose the material, what material we have to use for that. So we have to know about the property of material before we use the material to that object. So this is the property choosing mechanical wise, service wise, cost wise and manufacturing wise. This chapter explain you about the properties of the materials. Some important mechanical properties are explained below one by one. First we will see the what are the mechanical properties we have here. It was elasticity, plasticity, ductility, malleability, machinability, castability, weldability, strength, stiffness or rigidity, toughness, brittleness, hardness, wear resistance, fatigue, fatigue strength, endurance limit or fatigue limit, and finally creep. These are the mechanical properties we are going to see about. Now I will explain it one by one briefly. The first one is elasticity. When a body is subjected to a system of external force, deforms of the body takes place. These deformations disappears once the external force are removed. This is the property of material by which a body regains its original shape and size after deformation. When applied force are removed is known as elasticity. Example for this is steel and rubber are the some material having good elasticity. Now see the images friends. There is a rubber band. It has the property of elasticity. When you are pulling the rubber band on the each side, on the both side, it will expand up to its strength limit. And now we are going to lose the rubber band. It will again comes to its original shape. So this property is known as the elasticity. The next one is plasticity. Plasticity is the property of a material by which a body retains the deformation due to the applied load without rupture after the removal of the applied load. Example, clay and lead are some materials having the property of plasticity. Friends, see the images on the right side. There was a spring. So the spring have the property of elasticity and also the plasticity. When we are using the spring at a correct limit, it will become the elasticity limit. So it will regain its original shape after we release the spring. If we extend the spring up to its maximum limit, it will loosen its temper and it will become not again go to its original shape. It has some difference. It was ruptured by the load we given it on it. Example for this third image is given as a straw. The straw is the flexible elasticity material, elastically shape. It has a designed as it, and now we apply the load and it was in the shape itself because it is the property of elasticity, plasticity. The next one is ductility. Ductility is the property of the material by which the material can be drawn out or elongated into a thin wire without rupture by applying a tensile force. Example for this is mild steel, copper, aluminum, zinc, gold and platinum or some of the material having high ductility. Friends, see the right images. When we are trying to make the wire means from a material, it has the property of ductility. If we cannot make a wire from any material means it has no ductility property. The next one is malleability. Malleability is the property of a material by which the material can be flattened into a thin sheet without cracking by hot or cold working process. Example for this is mild steel, wrought iron, copper and aluminum are some of the materials having high malleability. Friends, see the images. If we can press a material and make it as a sheet means by using forging method, we can produce a sheet from a metal means it is the property of malleability. If we cannot make a sheet without any crack means it has no malleability property enough. Sorry for the disturbance. And machinability. Machinability is the property of a material by which the material can be easily machined by cutting tools in various operations. The following are the advantages of materials having good machinability. It has good rate of metal removal is high, long life of cutting tool, less power consumption, finally good surface finish. Example for this is grey cast iron has excellent machinability. Friends, if we can machine a material by using any machine, cutting tool to remove material from this means the material is said to be the machinability. If we use the diamond to use to cut in the material tool means we cannot cut the diamond with the any other tools. So this is not the material for machinability, so it has no property of machinability. But if we have any cast iron or mild steel means we can use it in the cutting tool and we can remove the material from the object. So it is the material which have high machinability. Cast iron, castability. Castability is the property of a material by which the material can be easily cast into a different shapes and size. Example is grey cast iron can exactly castability. So friends, so once we can melt a metal and form it as a different shape and size means it is called the castability. We can for example, simple example, wax. Wax is the good casting material, have the castability property. Now we can easily melt the cast and make it as different shapes and size also. Next one is weldability. Weldability is the property of material by which the material can be welded into a specific and suitable design structure and to form a satisfactorily in the desired objective. Friends, if you have any two materials which have to be welded to join the material one to one by using the welding, it is called the weldability property. If we want to weld different material at the same time as mild steel and cast iron, it won't be weld because it has the different weldability characters, but we can weld the mild steel with mild steel. So this is the property of weldability. And next one is strength. Strength is the property of a material by which the material can be withstand or resist the action of external force or load without breaking or yielding strength. Strength of a material is depend on the type of load acting on it. So now friends, see the image. The green one is the specimen, the object we are going to use. Now I am going to apply a load from the top. It was a chisel. So when the chisel is give the load on the surface of the object didn't penetrate any of the chisel's load. So this is the property of strength we have. And next one is stiffness or rigidity. Stiffness is the property of material to resist elastic deformation or deflection due to the applied load. It is also known as rigidity. It is measured by modulus of rigidity. A stiffer material undergoes smaller deformation when subjected to load. Example is steel, aluminum and brass are the sum of materials having high stiffness. Friends, see the example given in the right hand side drawing. The spring. Spring is the best example for the stiffness material. So we cannot use any material for the spring. We only use steel, aluminum or brass like this material for the spring, because the materials which have the stiffness to withstand the load at any point. The next one is toughness. Toughness is the property of a material to resist the fracture by absorbing energy due to heavy shock, load or blow without rupture. It is measured by amount of energy that an unit of volume of material can absorb before the point of actual failure takes place. Example, cast iron, mild steel and brass are some materials having high toughness. Now see the images, friends. Now I am going to fix a rod in the anvil and I am going to in the machine wise, and now I am going to lock it and hammering it. If the material observe the load and vibration within it and it contains to bend not to break, so it is the property of toughness. So the material didn't break but it will bend if I give the ultimate force on it. Next one is brittleness. Brittleness is the property of a material by which the material will fail or fracture all of sudden without any significant deformation. This property is opposite to ductility. Example, cast iron, concrete, glass and stone are some materials having high brittleness. Now see the images, friends. We take the glass material and I am placing a 100-gram weight on the glass material. It won't be break because the glass can withstand the load. But if I throw the 100-gram weight towards the glass material, means it will break out because it cannot withstand the shock given by the load. So it can withstand the load without any shock, but it cannot be withstand the load with the shock. So this is the difference between it is quite opposite to the ductility. So it is called brittleness. Next one is hardness. Hardness is the ability of material to resist surface penetration, abrasion and scratching. It is usually expressed as a number which is related to the hardness of the standard specimen. Hardness of a material is decreased by heating. Example, hardened steel, cast iron, glass and diamond are the some material having good hardness. We cannot see the example, friends. Now I am going to penetrate a sharp edge on a metal piece, but if it is not penetrated, means it has some hardness on the surface of the material. If I am going to change the tip to the diamond, by using the diamond I am going to press the material, it will have light punch on the material, so it has the hardness not by the mild steel, it can be penetrate while the hardest material. So this is the difference between the hardness. The hardness is in the surface of the all materials. Wear resistance. Wear resistance is the property of a material to resist wear. Wear resistance can be increases by increasing the hardness of the working surface by case hardening process. So hardening process is nothing but just heating a material and cool it suddenly by dipping into a oil or water itself. The any material can be hardened at the outer surface. After that we cannot machine it properly. So this is the proper process of hardening a material. Now after the hardening of material, we cannot easily wear the outer surface of the material. So this is called wear resistance. It was resisting the wear towards this. So all the gears we are using in the mechanisms or hardening like this only. Initially it has a soft material and we make the gear teeth, and then we are hardening the surface, outer surface, by heating it and dipping it into a oil suddenly. By doing this we can make gear hardening gear teeth. So next one is fatigue. Fatigue of a material may be described as the failure of the material when subjected to a number of cyclic changing load, in which the maximum stress developed in each cycle is well within the elastic range. Fatigue may be caused due to the application of following types of loading: repeated loading and cyclic loading. So see friends, this is the material I marked here. So this is the shape of the material. Now see the bottom of the material, it was bulged due to the fatigue. When a repeated load was given at the time of this place, it will become damaged. So the repeated, it could be the repeated load or cyclic load. There is a difference between the repeated load and cyclic load. We will see what the difference between this type of loads. Repeated load: if a member is subjected to either compressive or tensile load of same magnitude repeatedly, so the load is not changed, it will repeatedly against the material one by one. But in the cyclic loading, the member is subjected to the different load in a regular cyclic manner. So the load may be vary from increasing to decrease or decreasing to increase. The value from the maximum value to the minimum value or minimum value to maximum value, it will be vice versa at the regular intervals. So the load is called cyclic loading. If the load is same and it was repeated on the material, means it was the repeated load. So example for this is load on a piston and connecting rod of double acting cylinder. When the load on the piston is will not vary, but load on the connecting rod is will vary. So the load of the piston is called the repeated load. The load on the connecting rod is the cyclic load. Fatigue strength: the stress at which a material fails by fatigue is known as fatigue strength. Fatigue strength is decreases when the temperature is increases. It is mainly affected by the type of load and working nature of the material. So when the material got repeated striking on the material, so the material can withstand the force. So it is called the fatigue strength. When the temperature is increased due to the surface friction or wearness, so it becomes lose its fatigue and it becomes a failure. So it is called the fatigue failure. The endurance limit or fatigue limit: now see, it is the maximum stress below which a load can be repeatedly applied at infinite number of times without causing failure of the material by fatigue. This limiting stress is more important while designing a machine element which are intended to subject repeated or cyclic loading. So we already see the example for the fatigue. the piston and the connecting rod. The piston and connecting rod is designed up to the limit the engine can give the load. If the load is got maximized or the temperature of the engine got maximized, so there is the failure happen. Due to the temperature, the fatigue is get lowered, and the fatigue is get lowered and the material will be damaged. If the fatigue limit is, we can fix the fatigue limit as by cooling the engine regularly, the piston and connecting rod will not be get heated, so there is no temperature change more than the limit, then the piston can withstand and it will stand in its limit, fatigue limit. So it is called the endurance limit. The next one is creep. Creep is the property of material is deform slowly and progressively under a constant load over a long time. Friends, now think there was a park bench and we place a load up to its ultimate limit. So we think the park table can withstand up to 500 tons. We place a 500 tons on the park table and leave it for a long time. So after a year, due to the temperature and environmental temperature change and behaviors change, the park table will lose its fatigue day by day and it will break one day. So it is called the creep. So it is a slow process and progressively process. So it will break slowly but progressively. Day by day it will breaking the park bench day by day. Now we have two types of creeps. One is mechanical creep and another one is temperature creep. So mechanical creep is, as we said before, the example of park bench. So day by day it will damage. For temperature creep, we give a heat on the table daily, at the regular slow process and daily process. One day the park bench will be damaged quickly at the spot we have fired. For example, the profile cutting, we will increase the temperature at the same point shown in this image. We will increase the temperature at a point slowly and progressively. While increasing the temperature, the place which have pointed is got hold and it is ruptured. So this is called the temperature creep. Friends, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, share with your friends, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.